with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
The question is, why are you still here? So the purpose why you are here is because God has a plan for you. It doesn't take God anything to have you in heaven.
Encouraged to live a life of vision, and you can tell from the text that we have read that there's danger of visionless living. Child of God, I encourage you to live life with a vision, to live life with a focus. If you live life with a focus, you will do anything that can.
My community, where every voice matters and every story counts.
Si solution kuti bazimwambo bafunika vakasi kenga kwatu maskills kwa mne vashitako vanzao so that vashandize command government vanga nchito maningi chabe tinga appreciate vakazi vamuna wonse vaonongeka.
Counseling sessions for our youths that are people who are using drugs, and also we have a clinic at the University Teaching Hospital.
So
from youth empowerment to health, education, development, and the everyday challenges affecting our people, we bring the community closer to the conversations that inspire change. Watch My Community right here on Bmtv every Sunday at 17 hours. Keep watching Bmtv.
Ifyevo vyaba vyashi tababa mumi pachalo ingama kubomesha banjebele.
Kale nezo sakira dona lombani mupeza. Kale nezo sakira dona lombani mupeza. Na pale mama, kale nezo sakira dona lombani mupeza. Mama pa mama mama pa mama pa mama pa mama. Tata ndende charo ichi chamasuzyo umuntu katishe nganganga mulungu mkatishe
vintu at some point tikankarankara chepa kapita kolo mayezi he could still repeat the same thing. Jack uziponya konzero kuri veni chita hivi uziwa vintu kumankala ati vimachinja vintu yezo sirira chepa menapo. So and for real vinabwera vachinja vintu. So I remembered his words. Yana bula knows that uziponya konzero. So but I missed him.
Good evening and welcome to Bmtv main news at 18 hours. We're live on Topstar channel 114 and on all our social media platforms, that's YouTube, Facebook, and you can also stream live on www.bmtvzambia.com. We look at stories making headlines. BOS raises concern over rising loan defaults among public workers. Chawama residents welcome call for lower mealie meal prices, demand immediate action. ZCLU highlights Zambia's rights-based development agenda. DRC battles growing Ebola outbreak. Hope emerges amid crisis. Mexico starts with a win. Co-hosts beat South Africa 2-0. To present the news in detail, my name is Ruth Musakabantu. The Bank of Zambia has expressed concern over the The Bank of Zambia has expressed concern over the growing number of non-performing loans among public workers, warning that some borrowers are obtaining credit beyond approved limits through payroll lending arrangements. The bank says recent Financial Stability Act assessments have revealed increasing cases of public workers assessing loans outside the payroll system, often through non-disclosure of existing debts, mispresentation of financial information, and multiple borrowing from different institutions. According to the central bank, some lending institutions have also been found to have weak credit assessments procedures, including inconsistent use of credit reference bureau data, contrary to regulatory requirements. The Bank of Zambia has since directed all regulated lending institutions to strictly comply with debt service ratio and affordability requirements and to strengthen responsible lending practices. It has also called on payroll administrators to tighten payroll controls, improve loan recovery mechanisms, and take disciplinary action where abuse of payroll-based deduction system is identified. Residents of Chawama compound in Lusaka have welcomed President Hakainde Hichilema's remarks on the need to reduce mealie meal prices following the country's bumper harvest, but have called for urgent action to make the staple food more affordable. Details in the following report.
The cost of living is getting lower and lower. That's what we promised.
Residents of Chawama compound in Lusaka have welcomed President Hakainde Hichilema's remarks on the need to reduce mealie meal prices following the country's bumper harvest, but have called for urgent action to make the staple food more affordable. Speaking during the launch of the United Party for National Development Manifesto, President Hakainde Hichilema said Zambia had recorded a bumper harvest and there is no justification for exorbitant mealie meal prices on the market. The head of state expressed confidence that the increased maize production should translate into lower commodity prices and improved food security for households across the country. However, a check by this reporter in Chawama found that many residents believe mealie meal remains beyond the reach of ordinary citizens despite the positive harvest outlook. Some residents argued that mealie meal is the most essential household commodity and should be sold at below 120 kwacha per bag to ease the cost of living.
120 at least, I can afford to buy a meal. Because if you do mafuta, maona, vampise pano petiri paro sevenza, napunzwa mamotoka sizoza tiliponse, unga chirulundirapo. Commodities ya dura ambe polishing, ya mwana kuskuru, bonse titanda babwezeko, babwezeko vindu badula.
Pa 120 kangono, salad yeve ifuni kongala tapepa 60 kwacha. Chigubu chikulu chitatuni kongala 100 kwacha nomo tape sugar 60 kwacha mwe bantu. Jepa mnefunikira mwe bantu tavutika. Wana so banokuma zigolo zona anga mwere ya soti. Washuga ndiye chokudya chabwino mkamwa mwa muntu notisoti. Kwacha lola 60 kwacha.
100 lola pano nachoka kutoa 50 60 chabeli chabwino tatu. Tanzunzi kanisema marketeers tole kama kanisema widows. Ni widows tata iende chape aona president tate ndisolira pano tifuna zali breakfast 60 lola nchitate mwatisunga.
Others welcomed the president's position but questioned why decisions on reducing mealie meal prices issues were only gaining prominence as the country moves closer to the next general elections. They maintained that citizens have endured high cost of prices for a prolonged period and expected interventions much earlier.
Batate na bevanga kweze pintu kumalasti bantu pamene bazachinja nzeli apa manje bantu manje nsala choyanda bamsembe banayamba poyamba we chikwati mnyumba ni poyamba kumalasti akupisha kuleta ngabwera ngamvere chikwati ni poyamba bafunika poyamba bampaja umwana kumulelo kwambira panshi noti kumalasti opo akula nombale enda nombelo baisati mwana wandiza kuno ichupo nipa kwamba umwana nipa kwamba nangu umwana kusambilisha okuya kutoileti kusambilisha nga wamsambilisha okuya kunuma yanganda ni kunuma yanganda.
Residents have since appealed to government and millers to ensure that the benefits of bumper harvest are passed on to consumers through reduced meal prices and stable food supplies. Reporting for BMTV News, this is Suntwa.
Zambia is advancing development by placing human rights at its core. Zambian Civil Liberties Union Executive Director Isaac Mwanza taught the 2026 Forum on Global Human Rights Government in Beijing. Speaking on human rights in Zambia's development, Mr. Mwanza said President Hakainde Hichilema's 2024 endorsement of China's 10 Partnership Action at FOCAC set the direction for development grounded in the rights to education, health, food, shelter, energy, and culture. Mr. Mwanza reiterated President Hichilema's position that Africa is ready to help drive the world's green revolution, quoting President Hichilema, who said, "A transition towards greener economies and cleaner energy will make the world safer and more sustainable." The Zambia National Service, ZNS, has embarked on an ambitious fish farming expansion project in Chanyanya that is expected to transform agriculture production in Lusaka province and significantly boost national food security. The ZNS Commander, Lieutenant General Engineer Maliti Solochi, yesterday toured ongoing construction works at the project site and expressed satisfaction with the progress being made following the signing of a memorandum of understanding between ZNS and Chinese investor Golden Flow Investments Limited last month through the Ministry of Defense. The partnership is aimed at establishing large-scale fish farming operations and fish feed production, positioning ZNS as a major player in the country's aquaculture sector. General Solochi said the project is expected to make ZNS one of the largest fish producers in Lusaka province within next year. The National Heritage Conservation Commission, NHCC, and the High Commission of India in Zambia have strengthened cultural ties through a yoga session held at Chilenja House National Monument in Lusaka ahead of this year's International Day of Yoga commemorations. NHCC Executive Director Mr. Kagosi Mwamulowe said the event demonstrated how culture, heritage, and wellness can be combined to promote unity, healthy living, and intercultural understanding. Mr. Mwamulowe noted that heritage sites are not only places of historical significance, but can also serve as living spaces that foster community well-being and social cohesion.
The UNESCO NATCOM office and the Indian High Commission for having brought an event relating to International Day of Yoga at the Chilenje National Monument, where together with the members of the local community and the other interested stakeholders who were able to participate in a yoga exercise. This is an exercise which doesn't just touch the physical part of the body, but also on the brain. It invokes a spirit of reflection, and knowing that Chilenje National Monument is a site of memory and a site of reflection. It was exciting that we were able to see the link between the two, we were not just exercising our bodies, but we were also reflecting on the Zambia's independence history. So to the general public, I would like to just, and the other stakeholders, I would like to just encourage them to take part in such events, which I know that the Indian High Commission provides a service to the same. And would like to also encourage other similar events to be brought to our attention and see where there will be room for collaboration.
We take our first commercial break. We'll be back with international news. Stay tuned.
A lot of people actually thought you're from the Goma Belt, but even your mannerism got to your Goma. How come you?
Hey, Shairi Narikere sana for that time, 11 years.
Wow.
11 years, you know. So I think I'm more corporate than Lusaka. I remember we were having a rehearsal in the studio, and it was very hot. It was very hot in October, you know. And I said, guys, let's talk about shirts. Are you not feeling hot? And we took off our shirts, and you know, we're just singing. Shirtless boys, and I posted that on my Facebook. We continued rehearsing. About 2 hours later, we were viral. I received a call from Madam Mulenga Kapwepwe. You know, she told me, "Hi, my name is Mulenga Kapwepwe. I've seen what you're doing on social media. I felt like crying. And I think you could be the next Piquet Shala."
I have close to 23 credit rolls. That is a very high film currency. If you're dealing with casting agencies, 23 credit rolls is like, that's now they know that you're an A-list actor. Even when it comes to the rate cards, you're able to negotiate because now they know you have range.
Maybe Nigeria should take me home. All the years I've done, I've not received nothing. No. Hey,
we need to start certifying actors. I mean, look, you can't fight grace, right? If someone came 2 years ago and by the grace of God, they've blown up, it is a good thing. But you cannot take away the fact that we've been here, putting in the work, putting in the time. So that is something that needs to be professionally done. The industry here is very small. So it's very likely that even when I get on a set, we'll definitely know each other. They were like, "Oh, okay. Do you have a passport?" I had my passport, I carried it. I just put it out of my mouth, like, "It's here." They laughed. They were like, "You're so prepared." I said, "I am. I've been waiting for something like this." To cut the long story short, they didn't pick me.
Welcome back. Health workers in DRC are struggling with major challenges, including limited medical supplies and the growing mistrust within local communities, making it harder to deliver essential healthcare services. Al Jazeera has the details.
These children live in an orphanage in Bunia. They were exposed to Ebola after a mother and her newborn baby recently died from the virus. Another child is still undergoing treatment at the medical center.
Today we have the joy of presenting to you the 5 children who are here and whom we want to discharge today. For us, these children are cured.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is struggling to contain the Ebola virus. More people are dying while others are being infected every day. There are few survival stories, so when even a single person tests negative, it's always a reason to celebrate amidst the gloom. The children, along with others at the orphanage, will continue to be monitored and have been supplied with essential items.
We made the first donation to the first orphanage and are now expanding our activities. They will soon receive hydroalcoholic gel and thermometers, which are very important. We will also provide a batch of soap for hand washing.
These are basic necessities, but many Congolese cannot afford some of the personal hygiene products needed to protect themselves. Despite the despair being felt all around, such stories of survival give hope to everyone else. That hope can only triumph. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera.
Protests held across Northern Ireland on Thursday night passed off without major incident following a robust police response. Police had vowed to crack down on any further trouble after 2 nights of unrest triggered by a brutal stabbing in Belfast on Monday. 19 people, including a 16-year-old boy, have now been arrested following their violence. We monitor BBC News.
Of Clive.
Yeah, hi there, Sophie. We're in Glengormley, which is just north of Belfast, where the rioting last night was horrific at the police, and they also threw petrol bombs, which destroyed a lot of property. Look at this house here now. And it was only water cannon that ended up pushing back the rioters and quelling the situation down a little bit. Now, businesses and schools, they had to close early today. Bus services ended at around 5:30 this afternoon, and train services stopped at around 8 o'clock, all in anticipation of more violence tonight. But thankfully, it seems things are pretty quiet so far. Here's Sarah Gervin.
Another night of violence on the streets of Northern Ireland, this time north of Belfast. Residents could only watch on as masked men, riot police and water cannon raced past their homes.
Oh my God, there's a whole riot going on right outside my house.
We take another break. We'll be back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Lift it up. Hi there, my name is Teresa Lideda. I am your host for Sounds of Glory right here on Bmtv channel 114 on Topstar. Join me every single Sunday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. as we worship the Lord together. The word of the Lord says, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Psalm 34. Join me.
Morning breaks, we call your name. Every word you speak, it stays the same.
And in sports news tonight, Mexico kicked off its World Cup campaign with a 2-0 win over South Africa, sparking celebrations across the country despite protests and social tensions unfolding in Mexico City on opening day. Al Jazeera has the details.
For Mexico, opening day delirium. Fans of the tree, named after the 3 colours on the Mexican flag, celebrated a successful start to the 3rd World Cup that the country's hosted. 2-0 against South Africa, a good result for a team booed in the recent past by its own fans.
It means everything, it means a lot. It's putting us back on the map. It shows that Mexico is present in the world of football.
But Mexico's World Cup party hasn't been without hitches. Outside of the stadium, satisfaction, a feeling that this team has forward momentum after that win. Elsewhere, not so much. Protests have disrupted parts of Mexico City in this, the first day of the World Cup. Teams of Mexico's around 130,000 disappeared. They're all using this World Cup to demand justice from the government or a better deal in points around the stadium.
The government will no doubt describe the inauguration as a complete success. But this was also a success in its own. It drew the world's attention to the social inequality that exists in our country.
There are other complaints. High ticket prices in a far from wealthy country, which left many Mexicans forced to watch on TV. Or on this, what's being called the biggest screen in the world, hoisted up by the government in Mexico City's main square, the Zócalo, which it turned into a huge fan zone.
It's just all about the energy. At the end of the day, it's just being in your country and supporting it. Even if you can't make it to the game, then go out to a bar, get some tacos, you'll be all right.
It was doubtful even on the morning of the match if this fan zone would actually open because of the protests. But despite all the problems, Mexico's World Cup party is finally underway. John Holman, Al Jazeera.
On the local front, as the FIFA World Cup got underway yesterday, it drew interest from local football fans across the country. The opening match attracted attention as it featured South Africa against Mexico, sparking discussion among football enthusiasts both online and in local communities. A check by our reporter found that football fans had varying views on the encounter. Some supporters backed the Mexican side, citing personal preferences, football rivalries and betting interests, while others threw their support behind the South African team, saying it was important to support an African team competing on the global stage and showcase continental pride.
I was supporting the Mexico. Mexico win.
That brings us to the end of our news. A recap of the headlines. Boss raises concern over rising loan defaults among public workers. Chawama residents welcome call for lower milk prices, demand for immediate action. DRC battles growing Ebola outbreak, hope emerges amid crisis. Mexico starts with a win, co-hosts beat South Africa 2-0. Well, thank you so much for watching. This has been Ruth Musakabantu. Have a good night.